Alright, so in this video I'm going to talk about the top 5 things that I like about Driv3r and the top 5 things that I don't like about Driv3r. So let's start off with the things that I do like, and this is going to be in no order. Number 5, the dirty gritty look that the game has. I really like how the game looks very grimy and gritty, especially in Istanbul. You know, a lot of the buildings in Istanbul in the game, I'm not sure about real life, because I don't think I've ever seen any pictures of Istanbul in real life, but in the game, like, most of the buildings look very grimy and gritty, like a lot of the buildings are boarded up. The streets look grimy, even the cars look kind of grimy. Number 4, the floaty, weighty handling of the vehicles. It just makes driving to be a lot of fun in this game, especially when you're weaving in and out of traffic. Number 3, the vehicle damage. Yeah, the vehicle damage in this game is some of the best vehicle damage that I've seen in a PS2 game. You know, pretty much almost every part of the car can get dented and can fall off. You know, every single window can shatter, even a wheel can come off. It's quite realistic looking. Number 2, the film editor. So after you've been playing Driver for a while, like it might be a mission or it might just be free roaming, you can watch a replay of everything that you've done. And it's not just when you're driving around. When you're in third person, you're walking around or running around, you can see that in the replay as well. And there's a film editor, so you can edit the replay and change where the cameras are and put in special effects and stuff. It's really, really cool, especially if you've done loads of stunts in the game and then you watch a replay of that and you use the film editor to, you know, to change the camera angles and whatever. Really, really cool. Number 1, the missions. I find the missions to be a lot of fun, and they are very varied in what you do. Also, they are very varied in difficulty. So, for example, with a lot of games, you know, the first level will be quite easy, and as you go along through the game, it gets more and more difficult. With Driv3r, it can be that you do a mission, or even like one of the early missions, and it's really, really difficult, and then suddenly the next mission is really, really easy. So now on to the top 5 things that I dislike about Driv3r, and again, these are going to be in no order. Number 5, the lampposts don't knock over. That might seem like a bit of a weird thing to dislike, but I'm so used to playing games like Driver, you know, it could be GTA or whatever, and usually in these kinds of games, when you're driving along, you can drive onto the pavement, and usually when you drive into the lampposts, they'll just knock over. In this game, they're just completely solid, so your car just comes to a sudden stop. And I just kind of find that a bit irritating, especially while doing a mission if I'm having to chase someone or whatever. Number 4, some of the bushes, well, quite a lot of the bushes in this game are solid, which is just so weird. I mean, in real life, if you're driving along and you're heading towards a bush, you're just going to drive right through it, you'll probably flatten it. In this game, they are just completely solid, so like the lampposts, you drive into a bush, then your car just comes to a complete stop, and the front of your car just gets completely caved in, which is just kind of silly, you know. I guess it's probably a result of the developers not having enough time to work on this game. Number 3, not being able to control how your car flips over. So with a lot of these kinds of games, especially with the GTA games, when you do a stunt or whatever and your car it's gonna flip over, you do have some control over how the car moves, so you can like turn the steering and get the car to land back on its wheels instead of on its roof, or for it to be just stuck on its side. Whereas in Driv3r, you can't really do that. So often when you're just messing about in the game, maybe you're doing stunts or whatever, or maybe your car clips something, your car goes into the air, it spins round, and when it lands, you have absolutely no control over how it lands, like which way it ends up. And a lot of the time it can just end up on its side, and so you've just got to get out and abandon the vehicle, or it can end up on its roof, and again, all you can do is just get out of the vehicle and abandon it. Number 2, any missions where you have to follow someone. I'm not sure if it's like this with every single mission where you have to follow someone, but I know it's at least like this with a lot of those kinds of missions. So basically, you're in a car, you're having to chase someone there in a car as well, they're really far away. You've got to not lose them, so you need to not let them get too far away from you. And it can just be so difficult trying not to lose them. You know, you weave in and out of the traffic, they suddenly turn around the corner, and so you've got to suddenly turn around the corner. Sometimes your car will really slide, so that slows it down and you lose them. Or you might hit a solid lamppost and your car just comes to a complete stop and you lose them. Or even if you don't hit anything and you don't kind of like slide too much, like when you're swerving around the corners, you can still just end up losing them. These missions are just really frustrating and really difficult. And number 1, Tanner jumps like a fairy. So yeah, he kind of looks like a little girl. You know, when he jumps, it kind of looks a bit pathetic. I'm not really sure why the developers made him look like that when he jumps. It's not really something that bothers me. It's not a complaint or anything. I don't mind it at all, but I had to think of something for number 1, and that's the only thing that I could think of. So yeah, so that is pretty much it. Those are my top 5 favourite things about Driver 3 and my top 5 things that I dislike about Driver 3. Thanks for watching.